All right, so we are live, and I want to say hello, 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 hello to everyone out there. We are very, very excited that you're joining us today. I want to thank you for tuning in to the Coffee with Rhonda Spotlight Show, and I'm really excited. I'll try to hide a little bit of my excitement so that it doesn't get too crazy, but I am excited to have a really special guest here with me today. And we are going to talk and learn a little bit about the proposed Hebrews Federal Credit Union, which would be the first national credit union owned 100% by Black people or people of Hebrew descent. Or I'm going to ask Dr. Kuwait to explain that a little bit more in just a minute. But before we get started, let me tell you who I am. My name is Rhonda Y. Williams, and I am your host for the show. I specialize in emotional intelligence and lifestyle design, where I help people create a life and career that they love. And joining me today, as I mentioned, is a very special guest. I have with me Dr. Emil Koué, and he is the president and CEO of the National Association of Hebrews. And he is leading the initiative to launch the proposed Hebrews Federal Credit Union. So welcome, welcome, and thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much, Rhonda. It's an honor. I'm glad to be here.
So I'm excited. I think probably you may not know this, but probably from the moment I met you, I've been planning this interview. Yes, I've been planning to get you on the show to talk to you about this because from the moment we first connected and you started to share the vision, it was very exciting to me. I was excited by it and inspired by it all at once. And so what I wanted to be able to do is to have you come on and to talk to folks about a little bit about this vision. So let me share a little bit. And first, if you're out there and if you're watching directly from the Coffee with Rhonda show page, you can comment and we will be able to see those comments. If you are watching from YouTube, you can comment there on YouTube as well. And we will be able to see your comments there also. So feel free to join the conversation. So what I want to do is I want to share with everybody that this is part one of a two-part interview. So today, my goal is to have you meet the man behind the vision, to have you learn a little bit more about what this is all about. And then we're going to come back with a part two. And we're going to share a little bit more. We'll share a little bit more detail with you. And so David is out there and he says hello. He's going to be back and tuning in for us. And if you're out there watching, do me a huge favor and be sure to share this video. It doesn't matter if you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching on Facebook. You want to be sure that you are sharing the video. So where I want to start first is I want to have you talk a little bit about the vision. And we've been talking about the proposed Hebrews Federal Credit Union. So number one, what is that? And then number two, tell us about your vision for the proposed Hebrews Federal Credit Union.
Once again, thank you so much. And thank to all those who are connected online to keep up with the program and following you on YouTube and on Facebook. So it's an honor for me to be here. I also looked forward to this event, talking about the proposed Hebrews Federal Credit Union. It's going to be a financial institution, just like any other institution here in the United States. It's a federal credit union. Compared to banks, we will be focusing on making sure that we give loans with the lowest interest rate. And if you are depositing your money as shares, we will make sure that we pay higher yields on your deposit. So that's the difference between credit unions and corporate banks. But why did we want to have a financial institution for physically identify as Black people? We looked around. You look at hotels, you look at car manufacturing companies, you look at dry cleaning businesses, companies, or any type of construction companies. We We don't have such organization owned by us. We don't own such major corporations here in the United States yet. We build this country. We work with other communities, other Americans in the United States to build this country. So at this point, other communities with whom we work to build a country, they are prospering, they have companies, they have the ability to create jobs and create a better neighborhood, plan a 100 years or 500 years ahead of them, make sure that they provide or they set aside things that will make the lives of their children and the generations to come to be better. So we looked at that, we said, but then what do we have? At the end of the day, we sat down, we said, well, we need to have let's say a dry cleaning business. It's only $150,000 to start a dry cleaning business in some places. Where do we go to get the loan? What bank is out there to just immediately give us $150,000 to start a dry cleaning business, either in Chicago or in Boston or in Houston or in anywhere in the United States? We don't have that. Oh, okay. Where do we shop for food? We shop Chinese American food. We shop Korean American food. We shop European American food. All of us are American. We came from places. We came either from Europe or from Australia or from Africa, as it is called. So once you make it to this country, you are there to making sure that the country grows in strength and in its ability to continue to lead the free world per se. So we said, well, we can't eternally remain at this level. We've got to come up with something that will fund the other businesses that, all the businesses that other communities have. That's the reason why we decided together. And by the way, I'm not the man behind the vision. I may be the face of it, but I'm just part of the whole team, right? We are in over 40 states and growing. I'm just blessed to have been trusted by the council to be leading the initiative as president, and we are all volunteering. Okay, so it's something that we decided that we were going to do for the betterment of our community. So we talk about all these different businesses. It all boiled down to having a financial institution that was going to be there, making sure that we can have access to loans. America is the best place. If you can't make your dreams come true in the United States, I'm not sure where else you can make it happen, except, God is able to do everything, right? But we've got to make things happen here. And the institutions that are here in our country are there to support us, to making sure that we have access to the same benefits that other communities have. There are not two types of Americans. They are not, you don't have a community that's better American than other communities. It's just about being able to provide for yours. So that's the reason why we sat down and said, financial institution is what we will be pushing for before any other structure, before any other. So it's going to be a credit union. We opted not to go as a bank first because banks are a little aggressive in profit making. And credit unions are just from the very beginning, it will be owned collectively, not by one person. It will be owned collectively by all the members of that credit union. So we will converge to the location. If we are deciding the interest rate, we collectively vote on the interest rate that we will be giving to our folks. Of course, the Federal Reserve, the banking system in the United States will be making sure that we have money available just like it's available for all banks. But we will be there to say, okay, if the Federal Reserve, as in 2008, it was 0% on loans, or even if it is 1%, we can take loans from the Federal Reserve at 1% and lend it out at 3%. We benefit from two angles. The 2% that we are making from the loans, that creates more opportunity, more income into the community. Then, because we are a federal institution with representation in all states and cities, we can then give the loans to members of our credit union, not predatory loans, but loans that they can pay back. And that's the vision. So the vision behind it is to serve as an ecosystem where our people can come save money, bank with us, and have the ability to have more money, invest into the communities, into our communities, create jobs, and provide a better future for the other Americans who are part of our community.
I love that. So thank you for sharing that vision. And I hope that it's helped people to really see what this is about and why it's so exciting. But I want to ask you to clarify a couple of points, because you talked about the fact that this is a credit union that's owned by its members. I don't know if everyone out there understands that credit unions are actually owned by members. So I want you to elaborate on that fact, and who are these members, right? Where are they coming from that are going to own the proposed Hebrews Federal Credit Union? Because that's an exciting point.
And that's a good point. We have many people thinking, oh, that's the president and CEO of the credit union, right? They think, I'm just that, out of the reach guy, with coming with all the money, and who will just replace, the payday loans and all the other banks with my own system and perpetuating what is going on in the community. No, I'm just part of the team, right? We have a very strong team. We have, lawyers, we have businessmen, we have just regular folks like you and I. So from that angle, we look forward to putting in place a financial institution. Now, in the US, if you have a bank, the bank is owned by a handful of people. Mm-hmm. Here, for example, a Black-owned bank. It's a Black-owned bank by name, not necessarily that it's owned by Blacks, because banks are owned by those who have most money in that bank. So you can be a Black-owned bank, but the investors behind it, you cannot limit the investors, and there's nothing wrong with that. But as a credit union, our goal is to make sure that we are there for the community. You can go online on ncua.gov or mycreditunion.gov and read more about the credit union. So the policy in the United States about credit union is that members, people will come together and they will bring their money, put money in the same bucket, and then from there they will form a credit union. Now someone will say, but where does the money come from? No banks makes money. No bank manufacture money in the United States. We all take money from the Fed, right? That's how it works. So by having a 100%, a credit union that's 100% owned and controlled by our members, we are in control of the interest rate. We're in control of the type of loans that we'll be providing to the community. We're in control of providing the best customer service. It's not because it is Black that you will just go there and bank with us. We don't expect people to come and bank with us simply because we say it's Black. We want to provide the best level of customer service. Other banks are there. We are not saying don't go bank with Bank of America or West Fargo. No, these are great banks. They have done, their own, part of the I want to use, I'm trying to be cautious here, but they are out there. They have given loans. In fact, one of my first credit card was from, Bank of America or Capital One. So they are there also serving the community, but we are looking for something that will be owned and controlled by us at the level where even an 18-year-old can come and work with us, can come and bring a business plan. We'll take a look at that from the community standpoint and fund it. So as a credit union, when we say it's owned by the members, if you go online to complete our survey at proposedhfcu.com, you will see that the last question said, do you want to be a voting member? That means, do you want to be a co-owner of this credit union? If you say no, that's fine. If you say yes, what we really would like for you to do, then you will bring in an entrance fee of $1,000. So all of us who are putting in $1,000, we are the owners of this credit union. Collectively, nobody puts more. We don't collect more than 1,000 as membership fee. So if you put 1,000 as a membership fee, we take it. If you bring 10,000, we'll still take it, but 9,000 will be a donation to the organization. So that way, when we come together in meetings, whoever is the president or the chairman, we all collectively vote. What do we do for the credit union, for the members? So that's why we call it, community owned or members owned.
Wow. So that's pretty exciting. And one of the things that I was so impressed about when I first heard about the organization was just what you just said, the fact that we could all become part owners of this federal credit union by contributing $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just say, for folks out there who don't know this, not only can you become a part by $1,000, but you also graciously said you can pay it in 4 payments or 5 payments. That's not the point. The point is we have an opportunity to be owners, to be members, and to be able to control and make decisions that affect our community. Is that accurate?
Very accurate. In fact, the structure that we have in place is in all these 40 states, we have organized ourselves by counties, right? So within the, Travis County or Harris County or Cook County in Illinois, we have a board of directors of our association, the National Association of Hebrews. That's the organization that's putting in place a credit union. So from that angle, we in Houston, we in Boston, and those are members, we are not going to tell the people in Cook County, Illinois, how to operate that because they know the need of the people. So when they come together, they will look at the neighborhood and say, look at our neighborhood. What do we need in the neighborhood? We need a store. We need a grocery store, right? We need maybe a shopping mall. We need this business or that business to create jobs and get our children off the streets. How do we create those jobs and give our children the opportunity to earn more money and be safer? Mm-hmm. It is by coming together as a credit union. We said, okay, this bank does not belong to one person. For us to go and line up and say, please give us a loan of $2 million for us to build a store. No, this credit union is ours. We decide today that we will invest in a store that will cost $10 million. As members, we collectively get the $10 million from the credit union and invest in our neighborhood in any type of business, of course, that's legal, right? Any type of business that will create jobs and make our economy stronger locally and as well as at the national level.
And so give us a little sense of, because I think that's important for people to know that, number one, it's not just me, it's not just you, anyone out there. If you are listening to this within the sound of our voice, you have an opportunity to become a voting member in this credit union. If you are Black or of Hebrew descent, that is an opportunity that's open for you. So I placed the link to the survey in the comments. Whether you're on YouTube or whether you're on Facebook, you can see it. It's proposedhfcu.com, and that's your opportunity. Go complete that survey, and it will ask you if you want to be a voting member. So now, as I said, I was impressed at the fact that we could get not only ourselves, but maybe you want your children to be members. Maybe you want your family to really start to, think generationally about our communities and what difference we can make there. So give us an idea of where things are now, and can I still sign up? Is it not too late for me to sign up to become a member of this credit union?
You can sign up to become a member anytime, because until today, other credit unions are still welcoming new members that fall within their line of membership. As long as you are a person who will be looked at and said, you are a Black person, you qualify to complete the survey and join us anytime. Mm. And it's not about your membership fees, to the association, the $1,000. It's optional. That's for those who want to, who can afford the $1,000 and be co-owners with us. But because we also have the option of, just being a regular member, just complete the survey. At the last question where it says, do you want to be a voting member? Just say no. You will still be a member of the credit union. The difference is, for those of you who already have an account with other credit unions, you will realize that you are a member, but you're a member customer. You are not a decision maker in that credit union. You don't get consulted when it comes to loans. You don't get consulted when it comes to the interest. You are just a member at large. So all the members of our community who are, of course, quote unquote Black, or who are physically identified as Black, can always sign up to become a member, whether it is now while waiting for us to go live, or after the credit union is already in operation. So Every single day that we will be in operation, and even prior to that, you can always become a member. So now, where are we at this point? We are, I would say, 89% done.
Okay.
Because we have submitted some documentation to some final paperwork, including the pro forma and the business plan to the NCUA.
Mm-hmm.
The pro forma that has the numbers. We submitted that last week.
Okay.
And then we have a meeting with the NCUA next week where we will go over the forms and make sure, because it's a process. It can take 6 years to 15 years sometimes, but we are already at a level where we are just waiting for things to come to fruition. We are just waiting for the NCUA to say, okay, we reviewed that, just provide this ABC, and then you'll be good to go. So that's where we are, and we are excited, not just for the fact that we'll be having a credit union that will be serving our community, because we have many other banks and many other financial institutions that are serving our community in other ways, even though they are making more money out of it.
Right.
But the excitement is the fact that we own this one.
Right.
This is ours, right? Someone will say, but why use Hebrew? Why not use Black? Why not use African or African American? That's the part that took us longer to come up with the name, because we were looked upon by people who had no understanding of who we are, or by people who knew who we were, and they wanted to come up with some derogatory terms or terms that will undermine who we are, our strength, our position in the society. So we didn't want to validate those terms again in our lives. They look at us and they call us Black. Is it black color or black race? Because you can clearly tell that my hair is probably black, but my skin is not black, right? So it's not black color, it's the black race. And at that time, you have to understand what the black race means. Those are terms that were used as labels. So it's just like Negro, Nigger, and all these things. Can you imagine we open the bank and say Negroes Federal Credit Union or Niggers Federal Credit Union? That's validating those who are calling you those names.
Right.
Now, in order to show yourself strong, you have to know who you are, right? So it took us over 15 years of work, and we reviewed so many documentation, thousands of years of history to find out who we are.
Mm.
And that's the reason why we use the word Hebrew. And, I know someone, interviewed us and said, Hebrew Israelite. There's no such thing as that, because it's like you are saying a black white.
Right.
Or you will say a black Scottish, a black Irish. That doesn't make sense. Okay, the Irish are Irish. We know they are Caucasian. If you say a black Irish, that guy, I'm not sure how he will work or how he got there. Maybe he's adopted, right?
Right.
So, but you cannot say a white Hebrew or a black Hebrew. Hebrew are Hebrew. It's the brown skin. That's the meaning. The Hebrew simply means set forth, set aside, or blessed. It was never a language. It was never a religion. It was never any practice. And it's different from the Jewish community. We work with the Jewish community. We work with the Hispanic. We work with the Amish, the Scottish, because all of us are American. If we don't coordinate our efforts to work together, this country will be so divided. We'll just be at war, against each other. But the strength of the United States is the ability to, have all these communities to come together and work. Somewhere, someone, a famous writer said, the United States is a melting pot. Now, something that's melting, you can clearly tell the difference about the things that are melting. They are not melted as a country. And that's the beauty of it. So because we are still melting, that means we still have our differences. I'm Hebrew, you're Jewish, you're Irish, you're Scottish. But we come together and defend this country. Once we protect the country against the outsiders from inside, we compete against each other to make some money. It's free market, right? So as they are building opportunities to grow their businesses, we also want to build our own opportunity to grow our businesses and protect our community.
Wow.
So we're building anything to go against anyone. We are building ours to be strong and make America stronger or even greater.
I love that whole conversation, because on one of the Coffee with Rhonda shows I had a little while back, we talked about the fact that we, as a group of a community of people, we can't agree on what to even call ourselves. And it's such a valuable point that we have to know who we are and be able to stand in that firmly, to be proud about that. I love the term Hebrews, and I love that you just sort of explained it that way to us. And so, as we think about moving forward, first of all, if this was NBC News, I think I would have to have a flashing thing going across the bottom that says breaking news, right? Did you say there's a meeting next week?
Right. Yeah. There will be a meeting next week. Let me check the calendar here. And we have different meetings in states. We have different forums. We have different chairs. We are finalizing some information that we'll be adding to the website. So if you go there, you should be able to connect with us in your city or state. What I can do is I will send a phone number is 202-854-1820. The phone number again is 202-854-1820. You want to get more information, send us a text with your email address. We will get back to you. We'll send you the bylaws. The bylaws are NCUA. That means the NCUA will give you a sample bylaw. They have already drafted everything. We didn't create the bylaws. So what we did was just to change the name, change the membership fee, change the entrance fees, and so on and so forth. We'll send you a copy of the bylaws. We'll send you additional information. Please, it's not because it is for people who are physically referred as Black that you will just believe. Sometimes question things that come to you as being Black. Many a times we are playing, businesses know that emotions can drive, many people to join a business. We are not there to play on your emotions. We are there to play. We want you to use your intellect. Research us. Validate. Try to research. Look for, information. Don't just accept things that are Black to being, is serving the Black community. Question everything. I learned that from my counsel.
Yeah.
So it's not because we are saying it's for those who are physically identified as Black that you need to accept it. Research it. Look for the leaders. Find out who the leaders are. 100% of the leaders are quote unquote Black. We have people of, and I will use the terms, mostly African American, African in America, Afro-Latino, Afro-Caribbean. You can see all these names make us look like we are different, so different from one another. It's just a group of one people, it's just a group of people. We are just one people. We just happen to speak different languages, just like the European. They speak Italian, German, Russian, and all this, but they are all European, European American. So we are all Hebrew American. If you prefer to keep the name that people looked at you and call you, it's totally up to you. That's why we say the credit union is not for Black people, because you can have Caucasians who are Black based on the term race. We have Black Caucasians.
Right.
It doesn't sound right, but that's exactly what it is. We have Chinese who are Black. We have French who are Black based on the definition, because it's not Black color, it's Black race. That's why we say the credit union is not for Blacks. Some people turn Black, they can be Black in 1 day or 1 minute, but we don't want that type of situation. It is Hebrew, which is specific to our kind. When you have the Jewish, when you have the Irish, when you have the Scottish, these are our different identities. We are proud of those things.
Right.
But because we are coming together in the United States, we validate them, we accept them as they are, they accept us as who we are. We are not Blacks, we are not African. In fact, by the way, the term African is also even more derogatory, more than niggers, and people don't know that. It was given in around 249 or 246 BC by the Romans, who defeated the Carthaginians, and they renamed the city Carthage. Guys, go and Google that. Wow. You will see the city of Africa is in the continent, is on the continent of Kush. So if the city of Africa is there, well, how was the whole continent called? It was not, of course, it was not called Hebrew, but we use the term Hebrew because it brings us together from the time of Abraham. It's a word that we decided to use because it's positive. We are tired of our history always referring to enslavement of our people. Slavery didn't start with us. It surely will not end with us.
Right.
That's not our history. It's just a portion of it. And every single community in the United States, the Scottish at one point were also slaves to the Romans. I mean, Rome did so many things and turned so many people into slaves. So it's not because you were enslaved at one point that you remained a slave. No, slavery is not our history. These are things that many people suffer in one point of their lives or their culture. If you go to Europe, you will also see that. But we no longer want to be labeled as slaves or a descendant of slaves. That's not our history. We are humans. We are blessed. We have been sent forth to be. We are not gathering to go against other people. We are gathering to be. Whether other people are there or not, it's not really our business. We want to just be, assert our position. This is who we are. We are not backing down or backing away. We didn't choose to be Hebrew. So as I said, the continent was not called Hebrew. It was called Kush. But we call Hebrew because our brothers who are Muslims say Abu Ibrahim.
Right.
Our brothers who are Christians say Father Abraham. So if we, quote unquote, the black people, Muslim, Christian, unbelievers, can come together, Hebrew was the only term that could unite us.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, that is really powerful. And I love your description of slavery because so many times it feels like we are being defined by an experience, right? An experience that happened in a moment in time, but that doesn't have to define who we are as a people.
Absolutely not. And the reason why we are still being defined by that is the person who is telling the story. Mm-hmm. So it's time to not blame the person who is telling the story because we are in a competition. They want to make money. And the only way they want to make money is by trying to make others look bad. So I have stopped complaining about someone calling me any name. Maybe when someone says, and I said this, some of my friends were laughing, and I learned that from my council members and some of my mentors. They said, hey, if someone was to look at you and say, hey, Negro, don't get mad. Look at him and say, hey, Negro. That's probably his first name. You never know. He could be Caucasian or any type of race. When he calls you niggers, why do you spend time on saying he used the N-word? Negro, everybody can be Negro. It just simply means black. Maybe that's his first name. That's his way of introducing himself to you. So if someone says, hey, Negro, just look at him and say, hey, Negro, I didn't know it was your first name.
I love that. Well, we're going to move to wrap up as we talk. This is part one of this discussion, and I wanted people to have an opportunity to hear directly from you, sort of one-on-one. What is this all about? I can tell you that whenever I mention it to folks, there is a palpable excitement, right? People are looking for this. It is time for us to begin to own things. Right? And take ownership. So let me just close with this question. I'm going to switch it up just a little bit based on our conversation. So you said you're about 89% of the way there. We've got, some still some regulatory hurdles to cross with, the National Association of Credit Unions. On the day that you learn that we have received our charter and it is fully approved, what will you do? How will you feel?
I will send an email to the council. I will send an email to the state chairs, deputy chairs. I will reach out to them. Then the council, of course, will, as they have already approved, we will schedule a meeting. Sometimes you can be excited, but you hold on to your emotions, right, until you go live. So we will schedule that meeting, and with all the state chairs and state deputy chairs, we will have that meeting, discuss about the next strategy, and schedule a meeting and announce it to everyone. We will probably, schedule some time on your show to be here with your listeners and viewers to, let them know live that this is where we are. We finally got that charter. We are in business. Wow. So as far as how I would feel, I'm already feeling that way. Mm-hmm. I'm actually already feeling excited. I'm confident that we will have that license or the charter because I trust our institutions. Mm-hmm. United States.
I think you froze for a moment. I'm sure you'll come back in just a second, but That's how technology is. But you guys, this is exciting. So the first thing I want you to do while we're waiting for Dr. Kouei to come back um, is to share this video, share the story, share what we're hoping to accomplish and what's getting ready to happen, and share the love and the excitement, because this is all good. This is all good stuff and leading us in a very, very positive direction. Dr. Kouei, you cut out at the end. I just wanted you to offer you an opportunity to say any closing remarks. I think you're muted. There you go. I can't hear you.
Yeah, no, just want to thank you for this opportunity. I also want to remind your viewers that you are our county chair in so I'm excited to be working with you and with all the chairs and deputy chairs. Most of the time people see but Dr. Kouei and they hear about Dr. Kouei, but I'm just a member of the team. You don't put the smartest to be the president, right? You don't put the strongest to be the president. You put someone you can easily, someone who can get the commission and run with for it. So that's who I am. I'm there to serve the community. I think that's the reason why the council board, I'm the person who is coachable, and I'm there to serve the community. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
You're so very welcome. So for all of you out there, we absolutely want to thank you for tuning in to the Coffee with Rhonda Spotlight Show, where we bring you interesting folks with big, huge goals, visions that will serve the community. So we ask you to share the video once again. Go to proposedhfcu.com and please fill out your survey. I also put in the chat box the phone number if you want more information, if you need to know if there's one near you, so that we can get the ball rolling and continue to grow our membership nationwide. For all of you out there on this amazing, wonderful, beautiful Saturday, we wish you a pleasant rest of your day. Dr. Kouei, thank you so much for being my guest today. And you guys stay tuned. We're coming back with part 2. We'll keep you posted on when we're going to schedule it. Bye, everybody.